Thank you for joining us for the 2-minute drills. I'm Aaron Legion, along with Steve Ramirez. In the background, Fred J. Robledo.
Here.
Working behind the scenes, but you will certainly hear from him about this matchup, and that means we could be talking none other than La Mirada 1-0 hosting Charter Oak 0-1 in arguably the best game across the whole SGBN this week. And the reason we say that is because obviously historically these are two programs with a lot of success. Charter Oak, you know, we don't need to go through all that they've done in the last 10 years. La Mirada, a CIF championship in the last 10 years as well. I think, what, 09, Stevie? Yeah. But La Mirada, you know, coming off that very disappointing 4-7 season last year, pretty much erased a lot of those memories in week 0 by handling Tesoro, a very highly thought of you know, team from Orange County that many people had in the top 25 in all of Southern California. And La Mirada, I mean, defensively, guys, in that game, they really got busy. I mean, this score was 26-15 well into the fourth quarter, and then they won 26-23. I've gotten some feedback and seen some various videos from that game. After the game, Freddie, the place was absolutely packed. The La Mirada fans were absolutely just on cloud 9. I mean, you know, and the team as well. Obviously, it feels good when you exercise those demons from last year.
Yeah, La Mirada has one of the best fan bases in Whittier, really, and if you wanted to say the San Gabriel Valley include them, they really do. And when they get going and they get wins like this, I can only imagine what it's going to be like over there on Friday night. And Charter Oak, look, I'm still convinced this is a very good team. You know, Corey Brown, you love their quarterback. The team from Nevada, what we don't know, Green Valley, is how great Green Valley was. So it's really hard to have a judgment on Charter Oak right now. I mean, are they the second best team in Nevada behind Bishop Gorman? Who knows?
Wow.
Who knows? I mean, who knows?
Well, Bishop Gorman's on another
level.
level.
But what I'm saying is,
you're right.
Who knows how good they? I mean, they were.
It's not a big state.
It's just like the team. You know, Almott's going to Texas this week. They're playing a team that was undefeated last year.
Right.
Who knows how good these teams are? Green Valley must have been pretty legit.
Right.
I know. I was talking to some people in one of Charter Oak's scrimmages, and they said they look great. They were scoring at will. So I think this is going to be a great Southern section finally test for Charter Oak, and I think they're going to give them a great game. I know that La Mirada looked great against Tesoro last week, but I think Charter Oak's been licking their chops for this game.
Stevie?
I came away very impressed with hearing the score from La Mirada over Tesoro, because Tesoro is you know, is one of the better teams from Orange County, and for La Mirada to step up, and it's almost like they were a few years ago when they had a really good defense. They were shutting teams down, and then with Kristen Lara as their quarterback, he's so dynamic. He can create something from nothing.
Right.
Don't you think that was huge, Aaron? Because I know last year they played a pretty good schedule and they got clobbered in some of these games, and I expected them to be better. You talked about them being better, but I didn't think they were going to make this jump this quick to beat a team like that. I thought when you look at their schedule, this is probably one of the games you got to pencil as a loss.
Listen,
maybe the Charter Oak game would be different.
If we're laying all our cards on the table, some of their players last year were a little bit overrated. They've gone on to
you just laid your card on the table.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they didn't perform to the hype. You know, I'm talking about Tyler Luatua, and I'm talking about the QB Dillman, who ended up leaving the program. You know, he got injured last year, you know, early in the season, and he wasn't quite living up to that billing. He's now in Texas. I don't even think he's eligible to play in Texas right now. I don't know what's become of him. But a lot of their big time players didn't live up to the hype. Then they had a youth problem at quarterback. Then they had slowness on defense. But this is a team that reloads, Freddie, and they reloaded with the transfers. Christian Lara, a fantastic QB from Santa Fe. He's the QB now. This kid Tony Brown, you got to see him. From Servite, the receiver and defensive back, another outstanding athlete. They're huge along the line.
Is that amazing to you that they're getting these transfers? It's not to me, and I'll tell you why.
Right, I know why.
I'll tell you why, because this started last year. I remember with Coach Mike Massetti on social media, and maybe he put out unrealistic expectations. Maybe some of those players, like you said, were overrated. But you know who sees that? You know who sees a coach working hard for their kids?
Everybody?
Yeah, it's parents who have players who have next level potential, or saying, who's that coach who's going to do the most for my kid?
Yeah.
That's why he's getting them.
Right.
And if these, and when they are the real deal, Mike Machete knows what to do with them. So I think, although maybe you want to fault him for overhyping the team last year, this is what you've got to do as a high school football coach. You watched some of that result last Friday at Tesoro, and I think there's some other teams in the Valley who can look at that prototype, what Mike Machete is doing.
Gee, Fred, who you're referring to?
I don't know. Who do you think? Because,
are they Catholic?
I don't know, because this is what you have to do as a coach if you want to build a program.
Right.
It's not always just about winning, although that's important. When you see a coach out there sticking his neck out, going out on social media, promoting players, that wins over families. And Aaron, there's schools like Bishop Vermont, there's schools like Damien that can learn a couple things from Mike Machete.
Yeah. Well, the second job of a high school football coach is to get his players to the next level.
Right.
So whether that's Division III, Division II, or Division I for the select.
Yeah. And I think the other team that they're playing today, Charter Oak, does that job well too.
They do
The Ferrars, if you look every year, 3 or 4 guys. It may not be Michigan, but they get guys out there. Families recognize that. They've been able to win at their level, but families recognize that.
And I'll tell you something. That's the other thing, though, when you talk about like the Ferrars, and I said this last year. When I talked to Lou Ferrar, who are your big recruits? It goes from hearing about the 1 or 2 guys getting recruited by the big-time schools to him start naming like 6th or 7th guy down. And I'm like, that kid, where is he? Western New Mexico State and all these things. It like you said, even if it's Division II or III,
it's a coach.
It's someone
fighting for his kids.
Right, exactly, and that goes a long way.
I mean, there's 2 ways to do this, right, Aaron? There's winning. And there's fighting for your kids after the season is over, trying to get them into colleges. I mean, because a lot of places, season's over, they're done, they're getting ready for spring.
That's a great point.
They're not working on getting those players, even if, like you said, it's a smaller school. And I think these 2 schools do it right in that regard.
They do, and they also win, Freddie, which is what we're going to talk about now. Who's going to win this game on Friday night? Charter Oak's still very, very young at quarterback. I expect them to grow leaps and bounds from week 0 to week 1. I think you'll get a very good effort out of them. But personally, I don't think that that's going to be good enough, because I think there are some shortcomings, or there's some mismatches, at least along the line of scrimmage, that really favor La Mirada in this game, and I know La Mirada is good enough on the outside to play with these guys as well. Young Charter Oak team, maybe this game would have been closer, in later in the season, or if they were in the same playoff division. But I have La Mirada frustrating Charter Oak and getting the win here. What do you got?
I'm going with La Mirada. I think it's like you said. If this game was in the middle of October, then Charter Oak, their young players are a little bit better at that point. And La Mirada seems to, coming off that big win, you have to expect that they can repeat it.
Right, Freddie?
I'm starting to get disappointed in these drills, because for the 2nd week in a row, we've agreed on every single game. And I like La Mirada, and I like it very, very close. I don't give them a big edge in this game, even though they beat Tesoro. I expect Charter Oak, after a loss, to come out and give them a great, great game. Won't be surprised if Charter Oak wins, but if you have to pick a game, and that's what we do, I'm taking La Mirada.
I can tell you my inside info at La Mirada is feeling the same way. They think this is going to be a very good game. They think Charter Oak is going to really come to play.
And the big fellow's going to be there, Aaron.
I might be. We'll see. Or it might be Stevie. So we'll see what happens.
Might be me.
Yeah, it might be you as well. But fans, get out there. This is just going to be one of those outstanding games. You got Zion Eccles, who you can go see from Charter Oak. You got Tony Brown from Servite. You got some really big-time players. You got some teams that I really do believe when we start getting to November and December, you're going to hear a lot about these 2 teams. Who knows who struggles early, but this is a really good game, and some of us will be out there. So say hello. Charter Oak at La Mirada Friday night. Enjoy it.